Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chandie Speaks podcast. It's your girl Chandie. I'm back another week here in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. Vanlife, living the dream. And I made it through the intro. What's going on? Kind of have a little morning voice going on here. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing laundry right now, actually. We'll probably have to pause this and go. I was like, just looking at my timer. I got like a few minutes until the timer went off. I don't know why I just wanted to start this recording and just get it out the way. I feel like I'm yelling into the microphone. But here we are. Okay. Really not much going on since last week. What day is it? I think it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. My days are all running together because of my new schedule with my night auditing position at a hotel. I got the opportunity to sleep in all fucking day yesterday at my friend's house here in Sedona, and while my dog got to play. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel bad when I want to sleep in the daytime and my dog's like, dude, I'm trying to get outside, plus it's too hot to be in this van during the day, so we gotta be outside. So I've been sleep deprived. I've been just getting out this van because it's hot. It's getting hotter. It's only like averaging about 80 degrees. I know you guys really want a weather report from Sedona, but in van life, it's one of the tough things I have to deal with every year, like the weather changing, and trying to force myself to not migrate because it's just easier to just go to Colorado right now. Normally I would be on my way to Colorado right about now. I don't know. This will be the first year in a while that I won't be able. I don't think I'll be going back there. I wasn't planning on it. I don't need to go back there. Grateful I got to sleep all day and catch up on my sleep. Catch up on all that. I slept all fucking day, and I'm like, okay, I have to go to work later tonight, so I'll do my laundry and get outside with my dog today and yada yada yada. That's probably the most interesting thing I have going on in my life. Let me check on these notes. This may not be a good podcast, I believe, for anyone who's not really a hip hop fan, because today is Tuesday, May 19th. So this podcast will be for Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. And yeah, the biggest thing that's happened over this past weekend was Drake dropped a new album. And I'm a hip hop fan, so I'm going to be talking about that for some portion of this podcast. But let me look at my notes. And I guess if you're not really a music head or a Drake fan, that's big news. And it's not really big news, but it is kind of to me because I'm within the community and the culture. And I gotta blow my nose. I gotta go switch my laundry right now. I don't really want to start getting into any conversations, any deep dives right now. I cannot believe I have, like, I think it was only like 3 weeks ago. I have like 3 weeks worth of like capacity for laundry, and I still have clothes that, warm clothes that I haven't worn because it's getting hotter out. I just have too much. I feel like I got to downsize, but I don't have time to do laundry all the damn time. When you downsize, that means you're just doing laundry more. So yeah, let me pause this right quick and go switch out my laundry. This is just going to be a weird clip episode. All right, I just threw my clothes in the dryer here at the laundromat. It's expensive to do laundry. at the laundromat these days, but hey, it is what it is. What am I going to do? Yeah, I didn't want to make this whole thing about Drake per se because everyone's been doing that, you know. But it is what it is. It's a part of the culture. It got me thinking about a lot of stuff this weekend. A lot of stuff has actually happened since the album has come out. And by a lot of stuff, I really mean nothing at all, because I got to keep reminding myself that the stuff that happens online is not real life. It's not real life. Like when people add their commentary or, you know, share whatever they want to share about these celebrities out there, it's not really real. Like, their reality is completely different from our reality. I gotta remind myself from that. Like, we don't really need to be going around having commentary or idolizing these people or putting them on some kind of pedestal or, you know, big three or whatever. This is my little pre-disclaimer. But, you know, I work overnight at the hotel, and yeah, I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts and people's takes on a lot of things, because that's really what else is there to do that late in the night. Could probably make better use of my time. It's entertaining. It's thoroughly entertaining. Let's just say that. Drake is, like, whenever Drake comes up in conversation, it's entertaining. And I feel like, based off of what I've seen online, you know, not in real life. No one's really actually, I don't know anyone in real life who's actually talking about Drake, if I can be honest. And I don't know how his reality looks like in real life. He can have a totally different reality than everyone else. It's entertaining. I know that. So I listened to the whole new album. Okay, so Drake actually released 3 albums. This is, you know, by the time this goes up, it'll almost be like a full week since the album was released. Almost. It'll be Wednesday when you guys hear this. My little 2 cents about the whole thing. Well, we can actually go back to how I feel about Drake in general, because really, like, I'm a J. Cole fan as far as hip-hop goes. But anyone who knows me for real knows that I've always liked Drake. You know, I've always found him entertaining. I've always liked his music, you know, here and there. I wouldn't consider myself like a dire-hard fan. Like, I'm not going crazy. I've never seen him in live or anything. But, yeah, I have a lot of Drake songs throughout my mostly R&B playlists. Actually, I had to go back and look. I'm like, Drake is, to me, he I don't consider him like a full rapper. I consider him sort of like a singer who can rap, if that makes sense. Because most of the songs that I have of him that appeal to me are his, like, singing songs with a little bit of rap sprinkled in there. That's just me. That's just my preference, I guess. But, you know, when it comes to hip hop, rap music, when I'm like thinking lyrically and, you know, like how it sounds like production wise, even, like, I think J. Cole takes the cake. J. Cole has gotten better with time. You guys already know how I feel about J. Cole. And I feel like if it weren't for Kendrick Lamar coming up in there, Drake would not have even been in the same conversation with greatest rapper alive. And this is probably me I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody, because I feel like they can coexist as artists, but I don't feel like they're in the same conversation. Like Kendrick and J. Cole, maybe that's a conversation that can be had as far as hip hop lyrically, and, you know, how it sounds, how it makes you feel, how it moves you. But I don't think Drake would have been in the conversation if it weren't for Kendrick coming into the room, doing what he did these last few years. All right, I know this is so thoroughly entertaining, but this is just what's been on my mind. Like, I had to, like, dive into this because I wasn't actually a part of this. I'm still not a part of it because I don't know these niggas. Real talk, I don't know these motherfuckers. None of them are paying my bills. None of them care about me. But all I'm focused on is the music, okay? And music-wise, I've never listened to a Kendrick Lamar album all the way through until Iceman came out. Really, I'm not saying that I never liked Kendrick Lamar, but it's like he wasn't in the conversation for me. It's always been just J. Cole. He's like the last of a dying breed. Now, anyone who knows me from way back in the day, yeah, I used to fuck with Eminem really fucking hard. Kanye West really fucking hard. But let's be real here. Let's be real here. Kanye West, I think I like him more as like a person. I know I like him more as a person, as a president, hell. But when it comes to like music, I don't think he can match J. Cole. Same thing with Eminem. I had to look up what the definition of cultural appropriation meant after Iceman dropped out. Like literally, Iceman came out on Friday. It's Tuesday night. And since the album came out, I'm like reevaluating my whole fucking, like how I actually feel about hip hop. Because hip hop in itself is actually a culture. And I feel like they're, like musically, I don't know about these niggas in real life, Eminem's included. Musically, sometimes it sounds like they are appropriating the culture. And that's why I kind of stopped. I fell off on Eminem. And I feel like a little bit of that sort of fell off in Drake a little bit for me. Because I like, you know, the popular Drake. He's a pop star to me, you know. But once it became about, you know, this rap beef and who's the best and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of people are coming down on Drake for like the wrong reasons. I feel like everyone was just like low key hating Drake, claiming that he's a rapper. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things I've been reading, but like, why can't I don't know. I don't understand why he can just make the music that he makes and you can listen to it or you can not listen to it. Why does it have to be like you're shitting on his whole life? Like no other artist. I'm going to give him that. I'm not trying to like, I'm not big on the drama or anything. I don't actually know the full story. And They Not Like Us was a really good song. But at the same time, I feel like it was like unnecessarily coming down on him for the wrong reasons, you know? Like before Kendrick came out and said that he wasn't a rapper, Drake was everybody's favorite rapper. Right? Before Kendrick came out and said that he wasn't shit, everybody thought that he was the shit. Everybody loved Drake. Right? But I feel like, I don't know. This is just like, I'm talking about it. That's what they want you to do. I learned this weekend. Okay, so I had to look up cultural appropriation again. Like, what the hell does that mean? And then I had to look up where are these people from. I didn't even know that of the three that are in high debate, J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar, of the three of them, Kendrick is the only one that was actually born in America, on American soil. And I thought that was interesting because he's the only one who has two full black parents. He's the darkest of the three. The colorism thing comes into play with that. I had no idea. Like, I don't really pay attention to any of this shit, you guys. I'm just in it for the music. But it comes out in their music when I know a little bit more about their background. I knew J. Cole was born in Germany, but he reps North Carolina so hard that you'd think that he was born in North Carolina. And since, you know, his mom is non-melanated, his cultural appropriation is in question as well. I think not as much as Drake's cultural appropriation, but in a way, when you think about it, is this too much? Is this boring? I don't know. I'm trying to get it out because I really don't have anyone to talk to about this. I don't actually okay, here's my evaluation just quickly off Iceman. I give it a solid 5. It's arguably, I think it's Drake's best album. It's at the top of Drake's best album, but it's not the best album. I think it's good for Drake, but I don't think it's good for hip hop. I think it's actually, in a way, kind of, I don't know if he's kind of it feels like he's kind of mocking us on some of the songs. It was a painful listen through the first time. I listened to all 3 albums the first night, and it was very painful to get through. I'm not trying to come down on anybody, but this is just me coming off of only listening to the Fall Off all year. All I've listened to is J. Cole all fucking year, like a master lyricist. And then I switch gears, and I'm like, okay, well, Drake has a couple songs, I guess, with J. Cole. Let me listen to Drake to see what it's about. I listened to all 3 albums, and I gave it a fair listen to, no skips, and it's definitely a skippable. In my opinion, there's some songs I'm like, what is going on here? Now, I did listen to Iceman. I could not listen to the other 2, but I listened to Iceman since the release 2 more times. Actually, I'm in the process of listening to it the full way through the 3rd time. I've listened to it full ways all the way through twice so far, and I feel I only have added 1 song to the playlist since the first play. The first playthrough, I think there's, let me see how many songs on there. I feel like there's 18 songs. Maybe Iceman has 18 songs, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All together, I have 7 songs that got onto one of my playlists some way, and I know the 7th song I didn't even add that until the 2nd time I listened through it. So my first time listening through it, the emotion and my analysis of how I felt about the album was pretty much solid. It was pretty much respectfully just mediocre. It was just mediocre for me overall. And I'm a Drake fan. As a Drake fan, like, I'm not a hardcore fan. Like, I've liked his music in the past. I liked his music. I found it catchy, or sometimes it makes you think. Sometimes it makes you feel a type of way. But to me, it fell short of my, I don't know, I guess my expectations. I guess I shouldn't have had expectations in the first place, because I felt like it's just like repetitive things that we've heard before. I mean, this is me. I'm probably a little bougie because I've been listening to the Fall Off all year. Fall Off, to me, hip hop wise, is like, you know, the best album. He spent time on it. You can tell that he put work. It was very introspective. It was very, like, it took you on a journey, you know. And I've been a J. Cole fan, like a hardcore J. Cole fan, pretty much since the nigga came out. So listening to the Fall Off, even the first time all the way through, I didn't like every song the first time all the way through, but they at least had like some solid bangers right out the door. Like Poor Thing, right out the door. Who the Fuck Is You, right out the fucking door. But Bombs in the Ville, you guys know, I've played it over 1,000 times since it's been on Spotify. I played it over 1,000 times. And that song didn't hit until the 3rd time I listened. Like, maybe I couldn't even get through because it was like, it wasn't the J. Cole that I wanted it to be, you know? I'm like, oh, he's doing a lot of singing. He's getting his singing bag on this album. But with Drake, you kind of expect him to get into his singing bag because he's kind of always been a singer. And when he gets into these little trap songs, it for me, it's just not my taste. I mean, I'm sure the youngins like it. A lot of youngins actually do like it, going off of the comments online. But the trap style music thing is not really my thing. I'm more of an old head. I'll fuck with you if you're a rapper turned singer, you know, and you want to have a little like boom bap with your little melodic little flows. But for me, it was just a lot of like trap, like mediocre Drake trap. And it's his best, but it wasn't, like, it was solid. Like, if you listen to his lyrics, they were solid. was like a solid 5 out of 10 for me. It's so crazy how I feel like a lot of people are sort of forcing their hate on Drake because, like, why is that? Even me, even as a Drake fan, like, I'm not going to say growing up, but I remember when I first heard about Drake, it was like 2009. It was like 2009. It was right after high school. I was like 19 or something like that, maybe 20 years old. And I remember it was over the summertime, and the mixtape had came out, and I think I was doing door-to-door sales at that point. I was either doing door-to-door sales, 2009? Nigga, yeah, I was doing door-to-door sales. I was driving a little PT Cruiser in Chicago, and the mixtape dropped, and, you guys remember Best I Ever Had. And we're like, oh, that's the 𝙭kid, and he kind of blew up overnight, essentially. Like, I remember I didn't even buy the CD. Someone gave me the mixtape. Like, they were like, hey, you got to listen to this new Drake album. Everybody was loving Drake at that time. I don't know where the switch happened. I don't know what's going on in the celebrity world or whatever, but some kind of switch happened, like, here in real time, where people were like teasing me for liking Drake for whatever reason. They're like, oh, he's not a real rapper. I'm like, who gives a shit? He's making good music, and I feel like he's always had that since his first album came out, So Far Gone. I feel like, or since the second album, I guess people didn't like the fact that he was just like an upfront fuckboy. I liked that about him. That was my appeal to him. He's kind of like, he makes fuckboy music. And he raps a little bit, He's capable of, like, going hard in the paint and rapping his ass off, but I don't think that's his thing. I don't think that is really, where he, I don't know, I think he's made a great living off of just being a professional fuckboy and whatever. And it would have been nice to see a little growth there lyrically. But ever since he came out, everyone's always been hating on him. And then it went sort of like on a public hate thing. Like on Iceman, I don't know. I feel like if you're not a Drake fan, like, you should really, if you've listened to the Iceman already and you think it's hot garbage, I highly suggest at least listening to it one more time. I don't, if you felt the type of way the first time, but listen to it a second time and break it down. What really helped me break down the lyrics and what he was actually saying was listening to this YouTube channel, Lost in Vegas. They've actually been pretty solid with their reactions to the songs and breaking down the lyrics, because he's saying a lot. It's just sonically it doesn't sound good to me. But, ever since Kendrick came out with, all that shit in the last few years that I've really tried to stay on the outside of, I don't really know what the fuck happened. I know he's hating on him. And I forget which song on Iceman, but Drake sort of addresses it, saying, like, he had no idea he had this many haters, really. He had no idea. Everybody was smiling in his face, taking pictures with him, spending his money all in his face. And then as soon as one person goes public with just hating him, I don't know, for whatever reason, now everyone's turned on him, right? Everyone's just like, yeah, fuck that nigga Drake, right? And then, so I don't know why it's just seemed like it was unwarranted or unnecessary hate that Drake's always been getting, and people just sort of hate that they like him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's not from America, but who gives a shit? Like, he was born in Toronto, and people say that he's sort of like appropriating the hip-hop culture with who he is, because he's never actually lived this lifestyle, this American Negro lifestyle. And I don't know the details of all that either. I tried to dive into it, but then it was getting a little dark, because, like I said, I just try and focus on the music. And yeah, music-wise, I don't consider it a classic album. I consider it sort of like a good venting album for me. It brings me back to Take Care or Thank Me Now or Thank Me Later, whatever that album was back in his vulnerable days. but I haven't seen growth over 20 years now. So it's just, and as soon as I finished the album of First Play, I had to immediately go and cleanse my ears with the Fall Off. Oh my God, I've been like washing my spirits, cleansing my spirits with the Fall Off. No disrespect to Drake, but that's just how I've been all year with any other music. When I'm at work and I'm listening to this, like whatever they're playing at work, I'm like, oh my God, I would love to just have my AirPods in, just bumping something from J. Cole. That's just how it's been all year. There's a lyric, he said, check the Spotify rap in Iceman. Yeah, I respect the man for still coming out, even though he was publicly humiliated and dragged for just living his life or whatever. I don't know, publicly humiliated and dragged, but he still came out there and, put his best foot forward or whatever. I'm just, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the trap music, overly use of auto-tune, a lot of beat switches, and I like beat switches, but it has to be strategic. It has to be like, it has to flow, I believe Fall Off has a multiple beat switches, but the best one's in Bombs of the Ville. It just, it flows. Or in 39 intro, it just switches. It starts off slow and then it goes to this other fucking banger of a song, probably the best lyrically written song on the album. But, so I support it. But the way that it was used in Iceman, I think it was like, it felt like he was intentionally making like music to trigger like old heads or like real hip hop heads or something. I don't fucking know, because it wasn't great to me. I don't know how it falls on the ears of the youth these days, but me at 37 years old, I'm not trying to hear the overly auto-tune and the mix up with the beats that's not smooth, like a smooth transition, and then not really hitting it with the lyrics. Like you're saying a lot, but it's not like hitting me. You're not hitting it. I don't know how to put it. You know what I mean? Like the lyrics are there. They're just not packing a punch, I guess. They're not like pushing through. So, a lot of metaphors, a lot of maybe, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just too old to listen to Drake now. But I feel like he's older than me, and he came out quite a while ago. So, that's really what I got. So what did I have? I had like 25 minutes of this Drake shit. I'm still bumping the J. Cole. That's really what I have. I have this link that I wanted to, I guess, read of debunking the pedo allegations. I guess the kids are calling them PDF files, but I'm not claiming to be a kid, okay? If I get bleeped out, I get bleeped out. Freedom of speech. So there's a article from, PBS? Really? What the fuck does PBS know about Drake? Okay, well, PBS.org has a Drake's defamation suit against label over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us tossed by judge. So I guess what had happened was, I had no idea. I guess this is old news. I don't pay attention to this shit, you guys. I don't really care. This is just, like I said, something to fill in. I might actually even throw in a clip at the end of this just to make it a longer episode. Actually, I totally might. I think I have some clips of me recording directly after listening to the Iceman. I don't know. I'll have to go back and edit it. May or may not. But I'm pretty much over this one. But apparently this is old news that Drake had to go to court, or he filed a lawsuit against Kendrick for the song, for the pedophile allegations, and it was tossed out by the judge. It says a federal judge tossed out a defamation lawsuit that Drake brought against... Oh, it was a defamation lawsuit. That Drake brought against Universal Music Group on Thursday, ruling that lyrics branding the superstar as a pedophile in Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us were opinion. 𝘿𝙤𝙧 Vargas rejected the suit in a written opinion that began by citing the vitriolic war of words and saying the case arose from perhaps the most infamous rap battle in genre's history. Yeah, I don't really care enough to read more about that, to be honest, but I do think it's just kind of, it's one of those things. When it came out, I thought it was, first off, what is it? Untasteful. I'm not saying it's untasteful. It's just like, let's say the allegations, let's say they're 100% true. Let's say Drake's a pedophile. And then, okay, how do I feel about it being called out or brought to center stage by another rapper with not the same level as fame in a song at the fucking Super Bowl? I just don't, I feel like that was unsportsmanly. I feel like there was a better way he could have capitalized off of knowing that about something. I don't know. By all means, let's expose all these creepy pedophiles. Let's expose them all if that were actually true. But just the way that it came about, I don't watch the Super Bowl. But I heard everyone's commentary that year when he did it at the Super Bowl, and I just think it was just, and me, this is just as like a fair weathered Drake fan. I'm hardly even a fan. You know what I mean? Don't know anything about his life story. I turn around, the guy's got a kid, you know? So I don't know much about any of these niggas. But the way, from watching it from the outside, the way that all this has been going down with, or went down, I don't know if it's fully out right now. I would love to believe that it's out. It just felt like it was unsportsman, and it was like, you know, I don't know, just a kind of a creepy way or dark way to capitalize off of that. And boy, did he capitalize off of it. Now, Kendrick Lamar, I don't know. He hasn't come out with an album soon, so I'm not going to make this a Kendrick conversation, but it has to be a part of the conversation just because of where Drake was before this album came out. And I've said it to a lot of people before. I've always tried to not like Kendrick Lamar, and I've always failed. Okay, the boy's got skill. The man has got some skill. And I've tried to not like him, and every time it's like I just can't not like him. He's good. But the whole beef thing, I don't think I support beef, and this is a girl coming from the 90s. I saw like the ending. I grew up near like sort of understanding it near the end of Tupac and Biggie's life. So I have that in my thing. And then you flash forward to like who was the big thing that could have got out of control, maybe like 50 Cent and Ja Rule, right? These beefs, oh, that's my laundry. I don't really support beefs like that. I don't care if it's for money, if it's for entertainment, if it's for clout. It's just unnecessary. There's a way that I like my hip hop beefs, and it should be like lyrically and a rap battle. That's the only way, like, or with the pen, like just talking about how good you are lyrically with your pen. But full on beefs where you're putting people's business out there and fucking their bitch and they claim, and that's how people get killed. That's how legends get killed. Oh my God, I'm getting a little emotional over it right now because I literally just heard J. Cole's What If on the Fall Off, and I feel like that should have been like a cease and desist for all beefs. I'm so glad that he walked away from all of that. I don't care what anyone thinks about it, but he could have very well saved the three of their lives, or at least him and Drake's life. I don't know. I don't know what Kendrick's going to do if in retaliation of this. I would like to hope that he wants to, I don't know, just focus on the music, man. You're a rapper. He's an activist, born in Compton, but he's the youngest of the three. He's like the little child. He's got little child syndrome, in my opinion. I'm sorry if that sounds disrespectful, but it kind of goes for all three of them. Like, Drake has middle child syndrome way the fuck up. He's the middle child. And J. Cole is just like that, he's past unk years. He's like a wise old man, of the three. But I don't know. I feel like that's really my 2 cents about all the music. I might have to go and wrap this up, you guys, and this might be a short episode. Let me throw in a clip. Maybe let me listen to this clip and edit it, and if it's good, then I'll throw it in. But for now, I'm gonna stop this and go change my laundry. All right. Yeah, so I've decided that I am going to add in a clip at the end of this episode of the recording that I made when I got off of work. What was it? Friday morning? The fall off. No. Iceman. Drake's album Iceman was released on Friday the 15th, I think around midnight, and I listened to all 3 of the Hot Garbage respectfully all at work that night, and I got off work around 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I made this recording while I was leaving work. Like, it was like heavy on my heart that I had to make a recording about it. So that's what this clip is going to be. It's mostly going to be about my feelings toward Iceman, Drake, the music industry, hip hop as a whole, the culture. If you're not into any of this, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention for this to be like a hip hop podcast, although that's not a bad idea because I do love hip hop. But it may be a bad idea because I don't understand this new hip-hop, and I don't want to come off as preachy or old every time I talk about new music. Like, if I were to make this a hip-hop podcast, which I've thought about, it would require me to, like, listen to this trash music that's out, which I can't stand behind. I really can't stand behind. So yeah, the only reason why I'm making this basically a Drake episode is because it was hot news, and it's kind of relevant to who my favorite rapper actually is, which is J. Cole. So I'm gonna just end it on that. Like I said, you can skip through this whole episode, but that's what that clip is gonna be. I'm gonna go over really quick my favorite songs from Iceman. I know I was talking a lot of trash, kind of mostly about Iceman, the album, because I was just heavily disappointed. But I'm not going to talk about the other 2 albums because I only listened to them that one time, and I consider those throwaway albums. They were that bad, I think. And I mean that as constructive criticism. So it's 18 songs on the Iceman album, a total of an hour and 8 minutes. And of the 18 songs, like, it'd be quicker to tell you which songs that I did like because it wasn't many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 altogether made it to other playlists. And I say, like, my number 1 song off Iceman is Whisper My Name. Whisper My Name is a very good song. I like the beat. I like the lyrics in it. It doesn't beat switch. I really like that song, Whisper My Name, and Make Them Pay. It feels like this is like a diss album that he made or some kind of venting album about the heat that he's been getting these past few years with the Kendrick Lamar beef. So I do sense a little anger, and maybe he's hurt. And a lot of these tracks, giving real big trap music energy. But of all 18 songs, those 2 are definitely my top 2 on the album. Whisper My Name and Make Them Pay. Very beautiful music, I think. Make Them Remember is also a favorite, a good one. Firm Friends is a good one as well. I don't actually remember how Make Them Know goes, but it's on a playlist somewhere. And as well as Plot Twist and What Did I Miss? Those are all the songs. What Did I Miss and Plot Twist were those last 2 songs that not really is usually the kind of hip-hop or rap music that I listen to, but it was catchy, and, there's, I think, some beat changes up in there, but I added them in on my second time listening through. That's really it. I don't highly recommend it, but if you've already listened to the Iceman album already and you're not a fan and you didn't like it, I highly recommend listening to it for the second time. If you haven't listened to it already and you're not already a Drake fan, then this doesn't really pertain to you at all. Okay, and then to round out this podcast, I like the lyric he wrote in one of these songs that said, we'll see your Spotify rap. Because that's really where the truth and the proof of the numbers come in at the end of the year when everyone's Spotify rap. I'm not even going to lie. The last few years, Drake has been at least in my top 5 is on my Spotify Wrapped. He hasn't been the top artist, but he's definitely been in the top 5 because he makes catchy commercial music and can't help but to listen to it sometimes. But we all know that this is going to be the year of the fall off, 2026. So I'm going to go over my listening stats from Spotify between May 11th and May 17th. Remember, Iceman dropped May 15th. So between May 11th and May 17th, just this past week, Spotify's telling me that I have 3,295 minutes listened just in music. And my top artist for the week was J. Cole. Number 1, J. Cole. And then it goes down the list. Number 2 was Drake. Number 3 was Kanye. Number 4 is 𝘨𝙗𝙗, which is a new South African artist that I just discovered. And number 5 is Future. And I think the only reason why Future's up there is because I listened to Run a Train, which is on the fall off a few times this week. Let's look at my top songs for this past week, May 11th through May 17th, and then I'm going to get on out of here. Number 1 was Bombs in the Ville, making a strong comeback, you guys, at number 1 with 67 plays. 67 plays, that's just my banger. Number 2 was Nalo Nalo, which was by 𝘨𝙗𝙗, the South African artist. I had 33 plays with that song. I don't know what got over me. I just wanted to listen to some African music, and I had that particular song on repeat this past week for 33 plays. But then we go the top songs of the week to 3, 4, and 5. Number 3 was Who the Fuck Is You from the Fall Off with 22 plays. Number 4 was Only You with Burna Boy from the Fall Off with 19 plays. And number 5 was The Let Out with 19 plays. Classic fucking album. I still believe that it is a hip-hop masterpiece, The Fall Off by J. Cole, Jermaine Cole. Album of the year. But that's all, and I apologize, not really apologize, sorry, not sorry to anyone who didn't enjoy this podcast. This will mostly be for me to listen back to in the future. But yeah, I just finished my laundry. That's really all I gotta say. I just finished my laundry. I'm about to go, what the fuck am I about to go do? Obviously edit all these videos and wind them all together, making it into an episode, upload it, all that content creator jazz. I think I'm gonna go get me some food. I think I'm getting the munchies real hard. Go to the dispensary and go get some food. But anyway, thank you all for listening. Follow me everywhere. TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Threads. I'm everywhere. Chandie Speaks, and I'll see you guys next week. Bars. Man, it looks like it's really fucking nice outside. All I see is the fucking wind blowing. As long as the lady isn't freaking out, I'm chilling. But this is probably something I wouldn't share on the podcast because it's really giving like you have nothing better to do with your life, so you are following these celebrities' lives. I mean, truthfully, I can talk about this on the podcast if I fucking want. Because I'm somebody else's fucking waste of fucking time. Just like it's a waste of fucking time for me to be talking about it in the first place. But Drake dropped the hottest garbage of the year. And I mean that, I really mean that in like, if it could sound respectful, like I mean that as like constructive criticism. Like like that's the best way I can actually put it. Constructively, that like it was hot fucking garbage. And it almost makes me, every time I get into it, I need to tap out. And by it, I mean like when I start going down these like paths, these like I don't know. I'm thinking too much about these damn celebrities. And then I interact with other people who are thinking way too much about the celebrities to the point where they feel like they know them. It's like being a fan today is way different than it was back when I was growing up. And nobody wants to hear this shit, right? Nobody wants to hear about the good old days of being a fan. They probably think it's halfway retarded. What do you mean you used to write your favorite artists and join fan clubs like via snail mail? And that wasn't even me. That was just an option. I didn't even do that. So I get into these fucking like rabbit holes, I guess, of just like, anyway, what made me start recording it? Because I'm high. I just hit the joint for the first time, dead ass fucking tired. I'm basically just trying to talk myself into a full sleep. Okay, yeah, Drake's Hot Garbage was part of the inspiration, which I definitely will speak about on the podcast publicly. But just between me and the record, like, I don't know what the fuck he think he was doing when he put that out. And it almost makes me feel like it's a part of a like some kind of stupid fucking show. Why am I even watching this stupid fucking show? I never thought that... No, I'm not even going to say never. That's actually bullshit. There have been a few times with Drake specifically. We're just studying Drake right now. With Drake specifically, throughout the entirety of me knowing about this guy's existence as Drake. We all saw him on 𝙭, but I didn't take him... I didn't know who the fuck he was until he was Drake, okay? And since So Far Gone till now, it's like I always had this inkling feeling that he's like deeply intertwined in the shits in the industry. Possibly a whole ass plant. Because there's no way that he proudly and confidently put out about 38 songs, 38 tracks worth of hot garbage. I'd say like 30, 34. He probably had 4 legitimate, like, okay, I know how to make a hit. But what the fuck was he doing? It's like a code. It's a code. Or something, because, bro, like, come on. Yeah. So, yeah, he is the middle child of the big three. He's the middle child of the big three. He's got big middle child syndrome, for sure. Kendrick Lamar. Okay, let me just put it out there that I've actually wanted to not like Kendrick Lamar pretty much the entirety of his career. But it's hard not to like him. And I've tried. And I mean that in the most, like, constructive, respectful fucking way. Like, I've tried to not like Kendrick Lamar. I have not, of the three of them, I have not, Kendrick Lamar is the only one who I haven't listened to an album, a full album, all the way through. All the shit that I like from Kendrick is just like bits and pieces of all of his stuff. It's, I haven't given a full album a listen all the way through. Before the Fall Off, the last J. Cole album, legitimately, before the Fall Off came out, that I listened to all the way through, if it wasn't Forest Hills Drive, it was fucking Sideline story, and that's going way back. So I'm not a dick riding fan, okay? I follow the hype. I feel like I give it a fair listen. I feel like I'm giving it a fair analysis. And yeah. Anyone who really knows me knows that I have a whole bunch of Drake. Okay. But like so I really went into it probably with a little bit of more positive but no. It's like I can't even listen to it. So it feels like he made 3 different albums, bro. I don't even really want to look up how many songs are on each because it'll stop the recording. But let's just say all out the door, like 38 tracks. They're about all like maybe just a little over, a little under an hour long, right? It feels like on most of the fucking songs, there was all this like beat change and shit. He did like 2 songs for every song. 2 in 1 songs, and now there's like 11 tracks that are actually 22 tracks because you switched the beat up right when it was getting fucking good. Is that like some kind of code? I don't get it. To like pick out his real fans? It's giving really like Illuminati because it's hot garbage. I wasn't paying attention to any of the feud at all. Wasn't paying attention to any of the feud at all. But now it brings me over to door number 3. Kendrick Lamar is the only one who was born in America of the 3 of them. Maybe I should stop smoking. I don't know. I say that every time I fucking spark up, and then when I go like 12 hours without it, I'm like freaking the fuck out. Yeah, I listened to that hot garbage in sobriety. I had a clear fucking head. Was I supposed to be high while listening to it? Should I give it a second listen? It was painful to get through the first time. It was really painful to get through the first time. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be a hater. Because I have a lot of Drake songs, and they're all catchy. So it's like, okay, so you made all these trash songs that some people will fucking hype up. And 30 songs? I don't know what you're fucking doing with all that hot garbage. It makes me actually want to go listen to a Kendrick Lamar album. At least like the last album. All the way through. And I don't know. That's really all I needed to say about it off the record is like, it's giving really like, I have nothing better to do. There are these kids on fucking line Facebook who are just going off on everybody. Anybody who talks shit about Drake. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I remember when it was my guy. Got everyone divided. The fans are fighting the beef for them. They give nicknames to their fans. The other rappers' fans. And I'm like, oh my God, it's really deep. I'm not even in it. I'm not even in any of it. But if we can just look at it all objectively, you guys, it is hot garbage. If you take out who is saying it, I don't know what it is. The sound of his voice kind of irked me a little bit. And I don't know what that was about. Mostly because it was hot garbage. The last Drake album, before these 3 pieces of hot garbage, the last Drake album that I listened to all the way through was probably Thank Me Later. If not Thank Me Later, then it was definitely So Far Gone. I don't think I've ever listened to a Drake intentionally all the way through. Shit gets deep. Shit gets real deep. So you got Cold to Go, fresh like a juice that's cold pressed, putting out straight fire. And then you have Aubrey putting out hot garbage. So I'm here in the middle, being like, nigga, if he can put out hot garbage and people love it, and if J. Cole can put out straight fire and people hate it, it really don't matter what the fuck I do. It really does not matter what the fuck you do. That was me seeing through the veil. That was me seeing through the veil. The only way I'll know for sure is if I listen to Kendrick Lamar. Just to round it out. Never would have considered Kendrick Lamar as anybody's top 3, but someone threw him in there. Someone threw him in there a few years ago, and then he started like taking off. I guess more. I don't know. But yeah, it really don't matter what the fuck you say. You can say whatever. And it doesn't, it's a matter about how you feel about the person, really, who's putting it out. Kendrick Lamar is the final trinity of the 3 that will really let niggas know who's real and who's not real. Right? The only reason, like I said, I've tried to not like Kendrick Lamar for so long, and I just couldn't. Right? Why would I give him, like, the underdog position before, you know what I mean? And he still came out on top. Whereas J. Cole, basically loved him. Never had a day where I was like, no, fuck J. Cole. Never had a day. Since I heard Can't Get Enough, I've always loved J. Cole. I've never had anything bad to say about him. Never. Anything I heard from him was fire. Everything I heard from him was fire. It's gotten better with time. I'm not speaking about this on the fucking podcast. At least not too Dick Righty-ish. Because it's giving very, you don't even know this nigga. It's giving very Dick Righty-ish to a complete stranger. But the proof is in the fucking pudding. And the only way I'll know for sure is if Kendrick comes out with hot garbage, I just want this to be about the music. That's what it's always been about to me. And I went into listening to The Fall Off already loving J. Cole and everything that he's ever done. And then the first time I listened to the J. Cole album, to The Fall Off, all the way through, it was just mid to me. It was like a little bit above mid, but he had bangers coming out the fucking door. He had bangers coming out the fucking door so hard that I had to like replay them, and I could barely get through the whole 2 discs. Right? He took it back to old school. He really did take it back to old school, and me as a fan love that. Love that about J. Cole. That to me, he stayed true to himself and appealed to like multiple demographic, like kids, like multiple different like styles of fucking music. Like it's a damn good album, right? Now I went into listening to Iceman with hyped intentions. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like a closeted Drake fan, but I'm not really a closeted Drake fan for the right reasons. Like, I liked him for being Drake, not because he was actually talented. He's entertaining to look at and to listen to, but it's not actually like skill. I don't think he actually has skill. That's the thing. I think that's it, and this is me looking at it objectively. Like, I listened to the whole goddamn 3 albums. Let's just call it one fucking album. Let's just call it it was a 3-disc album. 30 fucking songs. Over 30 songs. I listened to the whole thing front to back, and it was mostly hot garbage. I probably was like, okay, this is okay, to like 2 songs. Legitimately 2 songs. Like, on paper, like 4 songs. But legitimately, it's really like 2. Like, I gave a little bit more for it. He's like, and I don't know if I'm gonna sound ignorant if I speak about this on my podcast, but I'm gonna talk about it in a way, once I learn some more, that it feels like appropriation, especially when you consider the fact that Kendrick is the only one born in America. He's the darkest one of all 3 of them. He's the only one with 2 black parents who has been born here on the solid soil of America, right? Compton. Then we got Aubrey from fucking Toronto, and then we have Jermaine from Germany. Nigga, he moved to America when he was 4, but he was still born in Germany. Let's not forget that. Kendrick Lamar, and this is me on the outside, being a low-key hater of Kendrick Lamar, not even a hater, it was just like, I tried to hate him. Like a low-key, like, I hold him to a higher bar for some reason, just in my head. And he still came out on top. Any song that I basically, like, got down and listened to with Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, oh, this is fire. Oh, the boy can rap. Oh, the boy has skill. Kendrick Lamar has skill. And I know that without even listening to a whole album. Right? Jermaine Cole has skill. If Kendrick Lamar never came around, Jermaine Cole would have been the GOAT. There would be no debate between Jermaine and Drake. Period. No debate. But here come Kendrick, the youngest of the 3. Actually skilled. Born in America. The darkest of the 3. So, people, it's colorism, I would say. Like unconscious colorism that we all just sort of have because we're American, right? And there are people that play on it for good, like Jermaine. And there's people that play on it for not good, like Drake. Like in a way, I would say they're both kind of appropriating the culture. However, Jermaine at least lived in America before fucking kindergarten, bro. And on. Jermaine at least lived, he doesn't remember living in Germany. That's how young he was when he moved to America. So, yeah, he's American by just what's the word? Just from being here for being here longer. Even though he wasn't born here. Right? I don't even know if he's an American citizen or if he's considered a German. But he reps North Carolina very, very proudly. That's his thing. Everyone reps something so loudly, right? I don't know what Kendrick reps at all because I haven't dove into his shit very, very proudly. Drake definitely reps himself. He reps his birthday. Everybody knows when Drake's birthday is. October Zone. He's naming his label or whatever, everything over his own birthday month. his producer and his manager are both non-melanated. They're white. Just saying. It kind of plays a part into what they're fucking putting out. Meanwhile, the producers for Jermaine's album is mostly himself. Right? You can tell a difference between someone who put in work to give you his best versus someone who just slapped together 3 fucking CDs of garbage. With, you know, a 20-year run in the fucking game already, you should have, like, the hit-making thing down packed. I don't know why he's making, like, weird, like, trap Percocet music, party music. He's, like, making, like... He's like, feeding the culture in a very bad way, I think. And this is just me listening to his garbage. I don't even know about what he's, you know, I'm sure he was fucking planted. I know I sound like a fucking crazy shit. And you know what? I'm still going to talk about this on my fucking podcast. I give a fuck. Yeah, I just feel like it feels like you're not feeding the culture in a positive way. Jermaine, on the other hand, is feeding the culture in the positive way. I am not afraid to go to a J. Cole concert by myself. It'll be the first concert in America that I went to by myself. The first concert that I've ever bought pre-sale tickets for. It's been a long time coming, and I deserve it, and I earned it. And it'll be a great fucking show. It'll be a great experience. I do not think I would buy a Drake concert if he came to Phoenix. If he did a little tour and he came to fucking Phoenix, I would hard pass. If you're doing anything off the Iceman, I would hard pass. I would do a hard pass. In fact, Jermaine was probably it. Ain't no one after him. He's the last of a dying breed. As far as rap goes, there's no one who's older than him who's gonna roll through Phoenix, okay? You ain't gonna see Snoop Dogg roll through Phoenix. And I ain't gonna go to no Snoop Dogg show. That nigga's in everything. He's so sold out, it's crazy. Bless his heart. Eminem? Fuck no. Maybe if Eminem came to Phoenix, would you go to an Eminem show if he came to Phoenix? I don't know what his last album was looking like. It depends on which album he's doing. If he's doing fucking Eminem show in Phoenix, hell, make your way down to fucking Flagstaff, I'll fucking go. Say less. If Eminem did an Eminem show tour where he's doing an Eminem show, then I am there. I'm basically there. Get all the friends. I'd be there. Maybe. If he's, within 100 miles of where I'm at. I drive 100 miles, or I travel. I wouldn't drive. I travel 100 miles and pay $200 for an Eminem show. So, that's just putting that out there. Eminem show tour from Eminem. They were talking about Iceman for 3 months now? I didn't know the exact release date until a week ago at the most.